And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Had a bit of technical difficulty. We won't try and mask it. SD card ran out. But we're back to it. Keeping it real. We were discussing the regionals, who we think is going to make it, and what we didn't or didn't want to see.
Yeah,
Bearing in mind, bring it on. But this buddy over here, talk to us about Pepper.
He's the best puppy in the world. We're never separated, except for when I took off and abandoned him.
I know. How was that for you? I know you're very attached to him.
3.5 months. It was awful.
Yeah.
And I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah, he's here 24/7. We're like literally inseparable. He'll wait for me at the end of every workout and come in and save me as soon as it's done.
Yeah.
Lick me back to life and cheer me on. And he loves the running what's the best.
Yeah. Do you go running with him in the running workout? Yeah.
All the time.
Oh,
That's our favourite thing in the world. Twice a week we'll run together, but if there's any running in a wad, he is like slobbering on my hips,
really?
like barking at me, like, come on, let's go.
Keep going, come on, come on, slow boat. Very nice. Tell us a little bit about your Fit as Fuck challenge. Yeah, tell us about that.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real?
Oh, look, it's amazing. I've got online coaching, Fit as Fuck online coaching, which is for women only actually, and there's just nothing else like it in the world. So I got different levels, masters, beginners, elite kind of regional level athletes.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible forum for women looking to learn from somebody who's, living it and succeeding. And something interesting about just having that private, like I run it through a private Facebook group so they can, share all of their deepest, darkest secrets and fears and successes. And it's just a very, very positive place to exist. And I know they feel privileged to be a part of it, but so do I. So that's growing. It's women from all over the world with different goals. I'm just about to launch my Fit as Fuck challenge again. This will be the 7th challenge that I've run online. It's 28 days of basically everything. What does it take to be the very best that you can be? And it's all the best of everything that I've learned along the way. Whether that's training tips, technique tips, nutrition, lifestyle factors, hydration, supplements, competition, mental game, like, what does it mean to suffer? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let's reinvent it. You name it, I offer up everything I've got in 28 days. Like, I really hold people's hands and help them to apply everything I've learned into their own lives, and I tell you the results are phenomenal. It's a real privilege to be able to give back what I've learned, and I've learned it all the hard way.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Is that for the Fit as Fuck challenge coming up, and I guess them in general, are they only for women?
No, my Fit as Fuck challenge is for everybody.
Yeah.
But I just found, that with my online coaching that I was 90% attracting women anyway, and I thought it was really important to just embrace that.
Yeah.
And, there's things that women will share in a private women's group that they just won't otherwise.
Yeah.
And, probably guys feel a little bit uncomfortable about that stuff being shared as well, but more than that is just, there's nothing else like it anywhere in the world of CrossFit. There's no female coach, of the level of athlete that I am, with the background that I've got, offering anything like that program and that forum. And the positivity is just 1 + 1 = 20.
yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of people need that sometimes. They need that support group, and I know, with lots of women from my gym who've gone on to do it, they really enjoyed having that, sort of knowing that other people feel the same way they feel.
Yeah, and look, it's immensely empowering for women. They're learning that they can be badass and strong and say fuck, without feeling ashamed, and also just that trust. They have complete and utter trust in the programming that I put together, and the proof is in the pudding. It's working for me, and those women are doing variations on the programming that that I've got going on for myself. Yeah, definitely. So they can trust it completely.
You're pretty big on your 1%ers, like doing all that sort of extra stuff. I remember the first seminar that I went to of yours. You had a big talk about that, about that funny looking juice you normally carry around.
Yeah, it's not far away.
Yeah, it's over there.
I just drank it all actually.
You know, how important is that?
I mean, the 1% is everything. You know, like everybody can train like a crazy person. You know, like CrossFit is full of people training themselves into the ground. It's not that. It's every single thing you do. Once you put that barbell down and walk out of the gym, even before that, once that workout is over, everything you do between that moment until you turn up in the gym to warm up again is what's going to make the difference between you and me. Like, who's going to be the champion, really? And it's the person who's left no stone unturned, like not 1% left unworked, that will win. You know, it's everything. As soon as I, like my warm down, you know, or when I have my protein shake, immediately post-training, like once I got myself off the floor, out of a pool of sweat, the first thing I do is I'll have my protein shake and then I'll go and warm down for half an hour, and the warm down's part of it. You know, the warm down is where it begins, and you know, the thoughts that you have and how you manage them. You know, like one of the things on my Fit as Spark challenge is the positivity project, and you know, like working your positivity mental game every day. And if I'm better hydrated than you, if I'm better nourished than you, if I've got cleaner proteins, if I've got less chemicals in my body, if I've got the highest quality supplements going into my body at the appropriate times, you know, if I'm getting more sleep than you, and we're all training equally, then I'm going to be a better athlete. You know, if I'm listening to podcasts that are positive, you know, and exposing myself only to people who are uplifting and empowering and role models, like I'm going to be a better athlete than you. Like, you know, the list goes on and on and on, the things that you can do, and you know, it's been willing to step up to that and do it. And you know, people, like we were talking about before, you know, there's a transition period where you're a normal person doing normal things, and then you start to care. Like people get uncomfortable around that, but once you start to really live it, instead of making people uncomfortable, you start to inspire them. Like everywhere I go, people are like, they just like want to know what I do. They don't even know what I do, but they look at me and they go, I want what you've got. I don't even know what it is you've got, but I want it. And it's not about the muscles, it's about something else.
And you know, a lot of it's just, you know, when you're living your life fit as fuck, which is, excuse the pun, you know, you've got probably more energy that other people can feel, and they want some of that.
Somebody said on social media the other day, like they prayed for me that, you know, that I would not be so rude or something negative about my fit as fuck. And I mean, they failed to understand what I mean. Like I mean in every area of your life. I mean mentally, emotionally, spiritually, nutritionally, you know, in every aspect, like being the very best that you can be. And to me, that's being fit as fuck. You know, and I'm not like, I don't know why we're scared of the F-bomb. Like we use it all the time, and it's a legitimately good word.
Well, you know, it's all context and it's all the perspective you want to see it in, you know. And you know, it's not being used in a way that's meant to demean or offend. You know,
offend at all.
You know, if people take it the wrong way, that's their own story getting in the way.
No offense being intended.
Now I feel like every time we've ever spoken, we always talk about CrossFit. There's probably a lot more to your life than there is CrossFit.
You know, I mean, everything about my life is sort of like my life's context is CrossFit, but you know, my message is about living purpose and passion and you know, that creative expression, and but it's all part and parcel of CrossFit. You know, there's all my writing. I don't know what I've got now, 4 or 5 books, online books, and got 2 more in the pipeline, and you know, it's my entire life. And
has that always been a passion, writing for you, or is that
writing? When I was a kid, I didn't even know it was possible at school. Like my dad wanted me to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and I just wanted to write and do sport. That's all I knew. I didn't need to be an author and professional sports person. They were the only 2 things that made any sense to me. And isn't it funny, like 40-something, and I'm finally doing those things as my way of life. And you know, but also that period of you know, like living in a pit of despair, you know, black hole of depression and alcoholism is really informs, you know, what I've got to offer today. Like you know, bring bloody messages back from that dark place and apply it today. And you know, it's living proof that it's not over until you say it is, and there's always hope. And I, you know, for many years I didn't have hope, but I must have. You know, I must have had something, even though I didn't realise it. And you know, I'm here today to, you know, offer whatever I've got, give it back. Like that's my job. I'm lucky enough to have CrossFit as a platform from which to do that. And you know, I just, like, my prayer is that I make it back as an individual this year, just to show people, you know, like you really can turn anything around and be whatever you passionately believe in at any age.
You know, are you a spiritual person?
I don't know. like I think so, but not in a way that everybody's got their own interpretation of it. But I believe in something. I believe in a lot of energy, and I believe in the power of something.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you think that helps you in your CrossFit?
Everything does.
Yeah.
Like everything does. Like you've got to have faith in something, and that faith in that thing can.
You don't have to worry about the words that we're using, but faith is the same regardless of what you're placing it in.
Yeah, like I had, I've got this tattoo here, Field of Grace, and I had that. I had this done when I got back from the 2011 games, and actually leading into the games I had two really bad injuries. Tore a rib joint, which is extraordinarily painful, more painful to breathe than it was to do a muscle up. I worked that out. But
you competed that season with that injury, right?
And then I also had a patella tendonitis, and it was chronically bad, and I'd never had anything like it before. And that was leading into the 2011 games, and I've been seeing a naturopath for about 2 years by this stage, and I think she's an angel. But she said to me, I just feel like I have to tell you this thing, like, when you go to the games, just know that you can work within your field of grace, like that there's a field of grace that you can work in. And I burst into tears. I was like, everything's going to be all right. It always is. Like, I really believe that there's something that's always got your back and got your higher interest at heart. And so, I just remembered that right the way through. Like, everything's okay. I don't have to put in effort or try too hard. Like, there's a field of grace. There is grace. It exists. And that got me through. It was the most amazing experience. And, I do believe, like, every time I think this is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to me, sure enough, later on, I've got a different perspective on it. Like, it was the best thing. It constantly was redirected